And this side with red passing through the leg, we have the femoral artery, with blue the femoral vein, and with yellow the nerve.
I can let my body down, and when I let my body down, also stepping with a blade. So 1, 2, 1, enter inside, thrusting.
Hi tribe, and welcome to this new video in which I will continue to share my knowledge with you in the same manner. I will combine the human body anatomy with the blade combat. And in today's video I will talk about the eye. I was drawing especially for you a diagram, so the process of learning it will be much easier, but I want to underline that these videos are only informative. It's not enough only to see a video and repeat a technique, I don't know, 2 times, and you will think that when you are in that life or death situation and you must protect your life, your family, and the ones around you, it will be enough to perform that technique that you will see. So I encourage you to train, to find a good instructor near you, and to train physical, to have contact and to train in this kind of techniques, or a partner or more partners, a group, that you can make this kind of trainings under stress factors, under pressure factors, because I'm showing you only principles that can help you in the process of learning to use a blade. So it's not enough to perform a drill only on the fixed target. These are helping us to develop some attributes like precision, like striking fast, like learning the brain, programming the brain to be able to perform a technique in a particular situation. But we must continue after to the next step with pressure and stress factors in our trainings, with scenarios in such a way that we really prepare ourselves for this kind of situations. Before we start, I want to underline that I am promoting the idea of a protector, an individual that uses his skills to protect his own life, his family, and the ones around him. Even if we talk about blade combat, fire weapon tactics, or trauma medicine, you use that knowledge to protect the ones around you. I want also to remind you the main elements behind tactical combat system, the system that I am teaching. Number 1 is awareness, being able to identify in time potential threats. Number 2 is being able to deploy fast your weapon under stress and pressure factors. Number 3, that is coming with number 4, striking fast, striking precise, and the last element is moving. All these must be under 2 main characteristics: simplicity and efficiency. It's very important to understand that the eye is a very small target, and even if you are training and you are good, fast and precise to strike a small target, but it's a fixed target, like in this case my Bob mannequin, or I don't know, different kind of other targets that you can put on the wall, or other models of targets, that is not enough, because in reality our target will have unpredictable movements, will oppose resistance, and only in the idea that is moving a little bit his head, the target, it will not be anymore in the same place like in the idea that I'm training with a fixed target. So this is the reason why I recommend to you to check one of my videos, and I will make also in the future one only about this, in which I will show you how to strike and to increase your precision with moving targets. And I give you also again a small example here. It can be a tennis ball, tie it with a paracord, form a support and begin to hit it, and when it's moving in all the direction, you are moving also and you try to hit that tennis ball. Another way, it's if you know from the boxing, you are having in the boxing training gyms, you are having this ball that is more big, catch with two elastic ropes from up and down, and the ball is in the middle and it's moving very fast and in all the direction. You can do the same mechanism choosing a smaller target like a tennis ball. Find some in my future book that it will come very soon. I'm working at it, the way of the blade. I'm showing you there how to improvise and how to make these training devices. But like an idea, you catch it, you can put a tennis ball, catch with two elastic paracords, and when you are hitting, this will move very fast in all the directions, and in this way you can increase also your precision, not only with a fixed target, because here it's very simple to gain precision and to strike the target. So first I will show you the two movements that I'm using in tactical combat system to strike the eye, so you see the mechanics of the movements, and then we go to the anatomical drawing and I will explain you better what is happening in this kind of techniques. So we have two techniques to strike the eye. The first one is by picking, so I'm going with my blade striking from up to down, ripping towards me, yeah? So I'm striking, I want to enter at the level of that eye and coming with the blade down. Strike down, strike down. So my hand, if you look how it's moving, it's all the time making this movement. This you can make abstraction of it, I'm using only to have contact now with the target. But I'm going with the blade and the tip of the blade then is coming on the eye. So all the time I am entering inside, ripping towards me. This is the first movement. I'm only showing you the mechanics now. The second movement is when I am going directly. So I want my blade to go straight towards the eye. I'm not going up, down, I'm only inserting my blade straight to the eye. Of course, this is not all the drill, I only show you the mechanic, the movement of this attack. Because when you put it, after I show you everything, we put it together, we must have a deployment, we must have the strike, we must have the movement. But this movement is directly. So even if I am going from the same position, this was up, down, ripping. This is straight. So I have the first movement in which I am going up, coming on the eye, ripping towards me, up, towards me. And I have the other that I'm going straight, directly to the eye. So my blade is going straight, trying to enter in that orbit of the eye. Okay guys, so this diagram that you see here is drawn by me. I was making with my hand as a support. I come as a support to you to understand better what I want to tell you. I want to remind you how important it is to have some basic knowledge about the human anatomy when we talk about blade combat. Otherwise you can be fast, you can be precise, but if you don't know where you must strike, and if you strike a particular area, what is happening to the target's body, then it will not help you so much, because you can give 10 very fast strikes and not create damage or incapacitate the target, and the other can give you only one blow that can be vital, and it's over there. So okay guys, we have here the diagram that I was saying that I drew for you, and here we have the skull. I was making only like this to understand a little bit how it is. Here in the half we have the bone with the bone tissue, here in the other half we have with the muscles, facial muscles and so on. What I am interested and I want to show you, and it's important for us, is this diagram, this drawing, that it's showing the eye in a profile view in the skull. And the most important parts from this drawing are the frontal here, what you see here, with a little bit of white and with these lines that they are telling what it is. It's up. You can also, I will show also on me, up on the of the eye, you have the frontal bone. Then when you go down, you have the supraorbital margin. So if you touch your eye with your fingers and then you go up, on it, you will feel the supraorbital margin, that is a bone, yeah? So that is very important for us. We have also down, if you go from the eye down, you feel another bone, that is the maxilla. But for us, in the techniques that I was showing you, peaking, in the peaking type in which I go up and then down, this supraorbital margin is very important to know about it, because now you will understand also that the other technique is more efficient, because this can be an obstacle for us. And I will turn like this, and now I will show you. Imagine that in the technique that I was showing you, the first one, I come from up, hitting, striking and gripping towards me, down and towards me. And when the blade is coming, it will hit maybe also the frontal bone and come on it, or supraorbital margin for sure. So this supraorbital margin it's like a protection for the eye, in such a way that when my blade is coming, it's not entering inside, it will deviate a little bit the direction, but still it will create damage to the pupil, to the iris, to the cornea. So this will affect his vision, so it will not be able to see with that eye when you are coming and then creating damage in this way. But it will not create more damage than the second technique that I was showing you. So you must very good understand and feel, put your hands and feel your fingers and feel exactly where there are these bones, and you will understand also that the blade cannot enter inside with this type of movement, because this bone will deviate the blade. You will deliver some damage, again I repeat, to the pupil, to the iris, to the cornea, but it will not enter inside. Is good this technique? Of course, taking the vision and also delivering, it's also a shock strike, it's creating some pain, but especially taking the vision, it's a very important aspect when we talk about the combat. Then, a very, very important thing is to understand that our eye, it's inside the skull, and this orbit of the eye, it's in a conical form, if you see also here. So, when you give a straight strike, can create much more damage because of the conic shape. This conic form of the orbit, it's permitting the knife to be directed by the walls. Yeah, we have the walls of the orbit of the eye in this conic shape, and it will be much easier, and it will be directed towards, you have here in the back, much easier it's to see the cavernous sinus. So it will be directed there, and passing to the cavernous sinus, we have the interior carotid artery. So when you are striking, if you have with a good blade, with a good length, you can sever also that carotid artery, and of course is leading to massive bleeding, and it will create a lot of damage. If you have a bigger knife, this can thrust also passing to the cavernous sinus and enter to the brain. Can kill this strike? Many are thinking that the idea of striking with the blade and that is penetrating the brain will kill. But there are so many studies and so many cases, real situation, in which the majority that they have inflicted an object that it was entering, penetrating the brain, are surviving, and also when they are arriving to the hospital, they are still conscious. So they have knives in their head, they have nails, they have I don't know what metal bars from work accidents, and they are still alive. Yeah, what is happening in that moment, that the portion of the brain that you penetrate and you create damage, the brain is split in such a way that it has different zones that are in charge with different kind of action. I don't know, seeing, hearing, equilibrium, and so on. So that particular area will be affected. But killing, it's not like in the movie. The only part of the brain, again I repeat, that you can strike it basically severing and it's shutting down everything, is the brain stem. Yeah, so it's another discussion. I will make a future video about it. So what is more dangerous here is that by making a straight strike, we are entering with the blade, damaging all the eye. That is a shock strike. Nobody can fight with the blade in his eye. enter into the cavernous sinus, and also can lacerate the interior carotid artery. That is very important blood vessel that can lead to death because of the massive bleeding. So it's very important. Again, I will repeat the main things. Remember this kind of motion, when I'm doing this from up, down, ripping towards me in the ice pick method, I will hit the supraorbital margin, so the damage that I will create, it will be less than the second technique, because this bone will deviate my blade. The second one is coming straight, penetrating, damaging the eye, also trusting. If I have a lot of power and a good sufficient blade, with trust, I will enter in the cavernous sinus, and here I have also the interior carotid artery. It's not the carotid artery that you know, we have this that we make a video, I was making a video about it, but this carotid artery is continuing and going from the neck, is going out, but this is calling interior carotid artery, yeah? But it's part of the same, yeah? So here, if we severe it, if you are stabbing, it's happening the same, massive bleeding, and so on. Another important idea, when I am using my blade to strike, to enter with this kind of strike, doesn't matter that it's straight or from up down, but especially when I am straight, because this, it's another motion in which I take the blade towards me, but when I'm stabbing straight, I must be careful when I'm doing this, because in reality my target will not be so fixed, it will move. So if I mistake and I have my blade, for example, this doesn't have a guard, a tsuba, how we say in the Japanese. So if I'm making my grip and I don't put my thumb finger up and I'm hitting the bone, and maybe I'm sweating, because in these situations of fight, flight, freeze, one thing is sweating of your body, sweating of the palms, or maybe you have blood, or maybe, I don't know, you are in a situation in which meteorological factors like rain or snow or other stuff, and this can slide on your blade, or you can drop the knife. So this is the reason why all the time in a reverse grip I have the thumb finger as a stopper. So even if I'm thrusting and I'm hitting in a hard tissue, I will not lose my blade from my hand. So now that we have a little bit of knowledge regarding the eye anatomy, we are also able to identify weak points and stroke points in a technique. And this is the reason why I was showing you at the beginning two techniques. So now, applying our knowledge, we can, how I was showing you earlier, we understand that by making this movement at the first technique and ripping towards us, because of the supraorbital margin, our blade will be deviated, and also only with the tip will create damage to the eye. It will be efficient, yeah, of course, you will take partially the vision, it will create a lot of pain, but it will not be more efficient than the second one, in which I'm thrusting with the blade, entering with the blade in the eye, damaging all the eye, penetrating, and because of the conic shape that the orbit of the eye has, the blade will be directed towards the cavernous sinus. There is also the interior carotid artery, can be lacerated, massive bleeding, and also if you have a long blade, it can penetrate also the brain. So this will be a shock strike that will not permit your target anymore to fight in that moment. It will stop from his initial action for a limited amount of time. So by applying this knowledge, we can identify, how I say, weak points and strong points. And this is not only about the techniques that I'm showing, but it's applying to all the techniques. Maybe tomorrow you see another kind of drills with the knife. There are so many good instructors that they are showing with the blades. But all the time it's important, again, not to repeat automatically and implement the technique in your training because you see somebody that is doing that technique. All the time try to put questions, try to ask yourself what is happening if you are moving there, what is happening if you strike that particular area. And only when you have good answer to that drills, to that technique, you can implement it and test it under stress and pressure factors, of course, not only a simple drill. Again, I repeat here, I'm delivering you only the principle. So if you're applying to the technique, you see me in many of my intro videos. When I'm making this technique, it's simple. From the appendix position, I am deploying my blade, and also in the same time when I'm striking, I'm creating the distance. So I'm striking to that eye and I'm going back, I'm creating distance. I'm not remaining there, I'm only deploying, striking, going back.
It's a straight, direct strike, and I'm going back. Why I'm using also the moving in this way? Because if I'm remaining on the place and making this, it's long time. Until I deploy my blade, I can be strike, I can be hit, I can be stabbed, or many other things. But by making this and also moving, I am already creating the distance, and from this portion, from this distance, I cannot reach the target and the target cannot reach me, but I was already delivering my strike. So here, striking. Here, striking. Here, strike. So the first technique is 1, 2, I come on the eye, striking that eye from up to down. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoy the content that I am creating for you. From now on, every time when I will make this kind of videos that they are combining human anatomy knowledge with blade combat, I will create these drawings for you in such a way that you will understand better what I want to share with you. And if you have other ideas about other topics that you want me to make videos about it, let it in the section below. Don't forget to train hard. And of course, stay safe until the next video. Take care.